Hi, you guys. If you like my content and my channel, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. And also comment on your thoughts below. This video is about the Johnny Depp murder surrounding Viper Room. You guys have probably heard about it. I decided I wanted to do a video on it because there's been some kind of, newer information that's dropped on this. So I was like, why not do a little visit of this mystery? So Johnny Depp, bought the Viper Room with a partner, which I'm going to get into Anthony Fox in a minute. But Johnny had this dream of creating this like rocker club, because you guys may or may not know this, but Johnny Depp is a musician and he loves to play rock music. So Viper Room, in a way, was like a place for him to be able to play his music and have other artists play too. It's like a dark, really small club. There's a stage that's really small in it. And it was very popular when it first opened. And in fact, a lot of people used to talk about how there was a secret room that Johnny Depp would sit in and other celebrities could sit in, and they could watch everything happening in the club from this mirror that was above. And it wasn't a mirror, it was actually a window, and they could do what from there. But basically all the girls would be like dancing towards the mirror, hoping that Johnny Depp would think they were hot and maybe invite them upstairs to the secret VIP room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So River Phoenix, one of my favorite actors of all time, is famous for dying in front of the Viper Room. He was in the bathroom doing what turned out later in toxology reports to be cocaine, heroin in lethal doses. It's possible that he had a mixture of cocaine and heroin together and he didn't know it, and he was snorting it and he didn't recognize that it was it was a lot more stronger than what he was used to. You don't always know what your cocaine's cut with when you buy it on the street, even from trusted people. And unfortunately, cocaine use in bathrooms, in nightclubs in LA is everywhere. So it's not like, it's hard to pull off. It's not like anyone even gives a shit. You'd be lucky to not have people go, hey, give me some in the bathroom. So now this was very unusual for him because he was known to have a great professional work ethic. He was considered at his time one of the most talented actors. And, he was also really healthy. He depicted a healthy lifestyle to people. What do I mean by that? Vegetarian, so it was just really strange. But I mean, a lot of people are extremists, right? So they go really healthy one minute and then they can go really unhealthy the next, and they binge or they self-medicate, something triggers them. Sometimes the trigger is success, sometimes the trigger is failure, So, yeah. But it was so common back then, it was so common in Hollywood back then. Not so much the heroin part, but the coke part. So I don't know. Here's what he had. And by the way, it was Halloween night that he died. So he was definitely raging because that's a party holiday in LA, big time. It says the results of the toxology tests of blood came nearly 2 weeks after the 20-year-old star collapsed and died after leaving a Sunset Boulevard nightclub, Viper Room, on October 31st. The report said the actor died of a, quote, an acute multiple drug intoxication and, quote, lethal levels, end quote, of cocaine, heroin were found in his body. In addition, the report said that there were traces of Valium, marijuana, ephedrine, a drug contained in over-the-counter cold medication. No alcohol was found in the body, so he was just high. Coroner spokesperson Scott Carrier said he had no information about how the drugs were ingested, but an official familiar with the autopsy said that drugs were not found in the actor's stomach and that there were no track marks, and he probably snorted the drugs. And so, yeah, I mean, him and 20 other people in that bathroom. So just so sad that it happened to him. That was the tragedy. That put Viper Room on the map, by the way. And by the way, a lot of people believe Viper Room is haunted by River Phoenix and that he doesn't know that he has died because he was so high when he passed that he hasn't recognized that he passed. And so he's still in the nightclub partying. Yeah. There's like, yeah, hold on. I'll play you something.
Wow.
What's wrong?
I'm hearing River Phoenix.
What?
That's what I heard.
I heard it too. Wow.
That sounds like his voice.
River Phoenix? It sounds like his voice? So you're telling me that we captured River Phoenix's voice?
I heard River Phoenix on that. There's
I can
no
hear.
way you could tell me that that's not what that voice said.
Does that sound like River again?
Yeah, that's the same voice that what said River Phoenix. Hold on.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I get confused.
Yes! That's what I heard.
I get confused. Do you think that River Phoenix came through, said his name, so that we would react to him, and we're using the right frequencies to tap into his dimension? Mm-hmm. We react to him. Now he knows that we can hear him. Mm-hmm. And now he's telling us that he's getting confused. He's confused about when he died of an overdose. So his mind wasn't in reality at that moment to grasp what was going on. So could he be saying that he's confused?
I would be 100% in agreement with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. That's his voice.
You're here. We're all done. Okay.
We all feel extremely emotional right now. Very, very fragile. It seems that we're going through the same thing at this very moment. Feeling River's realization that he has finally passed on and crossed over.
He didn't know he was dead this whole time.
So Tony Fox is Johnny Depp's partner in the Viper Room, and everything's going okay. The club's doing well. It's considered, a hit. And all of a sudden, I guess, Tony gets tipped off that Johnny Depp has been moving money out of the nightclub without his permission. And I'll read you a quote from it, from an article that covered it. In a preliminary ruling early in 2003, a judge indicated Fox would prevail in the case. Quote, Depp breached his fiduciary duties. The fact established persistent and pervasive fraud and mismanagement and abuse of authority in regards to the running of this nightclub, the Viper Room. So what adds to the mystery is that Tony disappears only 19 days after that statement was made by a judge, and right before he was supposed to testify against Johnny Depp and other defendants in a lawsuit. So Johnny Depp ends up giving his part of the nightclub Viper Room to Constant Fox, and that's Tony's daughter. So it's like Johnny Depp's wants nothing further to do with the Viper Room at this point. He's just take it. I don't want it. So he settles the lawsuit after his partner goes missing by just handing over everything to the daughter, to Tony's daughter. And so, he did as honorable of a thing in that situation as you possibly could. I want nothing, more to do with this creepy nightclub. But anyway, she makes a lot of money, so it was really good for Tony's daughter. She actually, she sold it for, I want to say close to $100 million or something. So it was a huge gesture on Johnny Depp's part, just saying. Anyway, they find this man's truck out in Santa Clara, abandoned, and his gun is missing, and he's missing, and they never find his body. And they never find out what happens to Johnny Depp's partner, Tony Fox. So this is the mystery. Anyway, for years, people have been trying to figure out what happened to Anthony Tony Fox, right? And so now this private investigator took it upon himself to interview a bunch of people to try to get like new information about where this man disappeared from. And originally they had thought, you know, people were implying there was foul play because there were all these motives, you know, in regards to the Viper nightclub. But this gentleman who's been this PI has found that he thinks that either he committed suicide or he's speculating that he actually disappeared on purpose, and he lives somewhere and no one knows where he lives. He like abandoned his identity. But I find that really hard to believe because he had a daughter who was 17 when he disappeared, and I don't think he'd leave her. Okay, so here's a list of the new information that has been found out. On or around the day he disappeared, Anthony sent a letter to his mother, the contents of which he refused to divulge to his brother Charles. It is suspected the letter contained vital information. Okay, his mom was a British socialite. A telephone call answering machine from Fox's home, which could have held important clues, was never impounded as evidence and has never been located. Fox's legal case appears unlikely to have succeeded, and several sources indicate he was in financial difficulties at the time of his disappearance. Now, this goes against other reports that he was about to win the case, right? So, right? Because we just quoted a judge that sounded like he was winning. So, that's weird. Okay, so more. The gentleman found out that Fox's wealthy British mother had allegedly helped him perpetrate a fraud in a former bankruptcy case he was involved in. Fox's former wife reported seeing him in Santa Barbara 6 months after he vanished, which is near Santa Clara where his truck was found. Fox had disappeared several years previously for a time, and family members confirmed he was an eccentric. And he, I guess he would disappear and go off the grid. And in Maud's will, the rich mom, she said that after he disappeared, that she would leave a $1 million estate to his daughter Constance if he never was found. And there's no proof that the mother actually ever gave it to the daughter Constance. So why wouldn't the daughter get it if he wasn't still alive? Now, it's important to note that Tony was British, and he had a British passport, and he was in with the royals. And I guess his grandfather was a renowned botanist, and he advised the royal family on tree planting on the palace ground. And his mother owned an apartment in Kensington, which we know is the most exclusive part of London. And so, yeah, and so very wealthy to-do family. His mom didn't like his lifestyle, but he was her favorite son, it's rumored. And Maud always used to bail Fox out of problems that he would run into. Now you would like to hear the wife's testimony about seeing him in Santa Barbara. This is in Radar, by the way. I should have said that earlier. Sorry. Judith also claimed that in the past, when Fox hit financial problems, he told her he was going to leave the U.S. and return to the UK before staging what appeared to be his own abduction. He cut off contact with her, trashed his apartment, and disappeared. Eventually, a few weeks later, she traced him to a woman's house. Judith suspects he may have done something similar in 2002. She stated that when she went to meet the detective at the Ventura Police Department, she tried to tell the detective that Tony had pulled the disappearing act before, but the detective, she said, didn't want to hear it. I should mention that is his ex-wife that told that story. There's a lot of facts that I think are not accurate, which is why we really don't know what happened to this man. I think it's pretty far-fetched to imagine that someone would just abandon his child that he was taking care of. And, you know, he obviously had a relationship with his mother and his British family, and that he would just like go off the grid and never talk to anyone again. And, it's one thing to go away for a while. It's another thing to go away for like 17 years. You know what I'm saying? Is it possible, he was in that much trouble? Sure. Do I think so? Probably not. I think he probably committed suicide. It sounds like, maybe he was dealing with some issues. My theory, out of all of the different theories. Oh, by the way, there's that he was murdered by bikers that Johnny Depp paid for, which is crazy. And then there was this other story, which was that he was just murdered by like gangster people. Now, part of this could very well be the folklore of the Viper Room, because the Viper Room itself used to be a gangster hangout. And so there is an association with that venue and like gangster activity, which is why I think maybe all this folklore has kind of leaked its way in. But you have to admit, the Viper Club has got to be the most unlucky club known to man. It's, if there's a curse, a haunting, like I don't know what is happening with that place, but yeah, and you feel it when you go in there. The club's energy is really weird. You'll see. Go. It's wild. They sold the club. It was sold to a real estate development company called REM Finance out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and they're still trying to figure out what to do with the property. They own like the whole block it's on. So I guess they were considering building commercial or residential property. They bought it in 2018, and I don't think they've developed it yet. So it's just sitting there. Oh, how sad. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if any of you guys are driving down Sunset, see if you can see what's going on with the Viper Room. I'd love to know, and DM me, please. I do want to say something. They used to have poker games. That movie Molly Game or whatever, about the high stake pokers in Hollywood that all the celebrities used to participate in. Well, they did them there too sometimes. They're in the Havana Room and some hotels and stuff. But listen, I have to say something about that. There were like so many overdoses and like people who would pass out at the club. Now, a lot of people think that it's a ghost that makes people pass out there, okay? But I actually think it also could be that there is a very bad, how do I describe it? Oxygen levels. I used to get drunk there so quickly, and I'd be like, what the hell is it about this place? And I realized there wasn't good air, movement. There's no oxygen in that club. So you all of a sudden you're feeling normal, and then you change floors and you're like, boom, it hits you oh my God, I'm way more drunk or fucked up than I thought I was. So I think that had something to do with it. People would be partying and they just didn't realize how, because there was no air movement. Someone's calling me. So there you have it. What do you think about the Viper Room curse or haunting or mystery? Or there's a million ways to look at it. Let me know. This one, I kind of took you all over the shop, right? I kind of went true crime, ghosts, paranormal, curses. This is the Viper Room story has everything in it. Yeah. It was a crazy place. Had some really good times there, though. I had a birthday there. All right, I'll leave it there. Bye, you guys. I forgot to say, they better fix the ventilation if they open that place up so there's no more people getting drunk and passing out or overdosing. That's all. That's my public service announcement at the end of this video.